Have you ever opened TikTok or Instagram just for a minute and suddenly an hour passes by? You tell yourself you're gonna stop after this one video, and then another one hits, and then another, and then another. That moment where you know you should put the phone down, but your thumb keeps scrolling anyway. That's what we call doom scrolling. And in this video, I want to take a look at what doom scrolling is actually doing to our attention, our mental health, and our time, and why it's so hard to stop even when we want to. Short form video has blown up over the past few years. TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and that's just to name a few of them. And it's not just teens anymore. You see college students doing it, your coworkers on their breaks, and even older adults are zoning out on their phones. And I wanted to understand, is this just people on their phones like every generation complains about? Or is there something deeper going on in the way these apps are designed? So first, what is doom scrolling? Doom scrolling is a compulsive habit of endlessly scrolling through content, often negative, overstimulating, or just nonstop, past the point where it's even enjoyable or useful anymore. Harvard Health and Psychology Today both describe it as a loop where you keep consuming content even when you're tired, stressed, or not really paying attention anymore. It's that I don't even want to be on my phone right now, but I'm still here feeling. One of the biggest things I found about doom scrolling isn't just about having no self-control. These apps are literally designed to keep us there. Short form video uses three main tricks. Infinite scroll. There's no natural stopping point. You could keep scrolling for hours. The content that you're consuming is unpredictable. You never know what's gonna come next. And the constant novelty of these videos. They're all different, fast, and stimulating to your brain. All of that taps directly into your dopamine system, the part of the brain that responds to reward and anticipation. It kind of works like a slot machine. You don't hit the jackpot every pull, but you get just good enough stuff to keep playing. A 2024 study by Frontiers in Human Neuroscience used EEG scans and found that heavy short-form video use is linked to weaker attention control and changes how the brain responds to these rapid rewards. In other words, the more we get used to these tiny dopamine hits, the harder it is to focus on anything slower or boring. So when you feel like scrolling is automatic, it's not just in your head. It's literally designed to work against your attention. Doom scrolling also affects our mental health. The American Psychological Association and the US Surgeon General have both warned us about the impact of heavy social media use, especially when it's constant and unregulated. Some of the effects of this kind of behavior include increased anxiety and stress, emotional overload from nonstop information, feeling more negative or hopeless after long scrolling sessions, trouble sleeping, especially when scrolling late at night, and that compulsive check again feeling. A lot of doom scrolling leans towards either highly emotional content, arguments, tragedies, drama, negativity, or just pure overstimulation. Over time, that could leave people feeling drained instead of relaxed. The other big cost of doom scrolling is time. Pew Research Center reports that social media use has become a daily habit for most people, and a lot of teens and young adults report being online almost constantly. The problem is, our brains are terrible at tracking time when we scroll. Psychology Today describes this as a kind of time distortion. What feels like 5 minutes could easily become 30 or more. This lost time has real consequences. Homework or studying could get pushed back because you're scrolling. Your sleep gets cut. I unfortunately have suffered that multiple times at night. And because doom scrolling has become such a default behavior whenever we're tired, bored, or overstimulated, it sneaks into those little tiny gaps in the day until there aren't many gaps left. To see if doom scrolling was actually measurable, I looked at a study of 419 people, ages 18 to 64, that analyzed how doom scrolling relates to different traits and behaviors. This table may look complicated at first, but here's what matters. Doom scrolling has a strong positive correlation with social media addiction and fear of missing out. The more that people doom scrolled, the more addicted they were, and the more FOMO they felt. It was also linked to more hours per day spending on social media. So it's not just a feeling. Doom scrolling is really tied to extra screen time. Personality-wise, people who doom scrolled more had higher neuroticism, meaning more anxiety and negative emotion. So they were likely to be more stressed, less organized, and less outwardly social. All of this suggests that doom scrolling isn't random. It lines up with addiction, FOMO, mood, and how people relate to each other. At the same time, I don't think the answer is all phones are evil. No one should use phones. Delete every app. The APA also points out that social media does have real benefits. It can help people feel connected to friends and communities. It can be a source of humor, creativity, and inspiration. It can spread information and ideas fast, and can even be a place to learn new skills or find support. The problem isn't scrolling, it's doom scrolling. That unintentional, compulsive, I don't know why I'm still here behavior, especially at late at night. In moderation, and when we're intentional about what we're looking at and consuming, scrolling could actually be neutral or even positive. It turns harmful when it replaces sleep, real connection, focus, and our ability just to exist without a screen. So where does that leave us? Doomscrolling affects our brain, our mood, and our time. And the research shows that it isn't just a bad habit. It's something that lines up with addiction, anxiety, and how these apps are literally designed. I don't think the solution is to demonetize technology or pretend that we're going to delete every social media app forever. Instead, my project made me think about questions like, when do I choose to scroll, and when am I even pulled into it? How much time am I okay with losing to this every day? What changes if I set my limits, put my phone away before bed, and turn off autoplay? Doomscrolling is powerful, but it does not have to run our lives. In the end, it comes down to this. If we do not control the scroll will control us. Thanks for watching.